There are some things in the world you just can't explain, or they're too scary to explain. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 scary possession cases that the Catholic Church refuses to talk about. So sit back, relax, and maybe turn on a light. Now let's get into the list. Number 10. Clara Germana Cele. Clara Germana Cele was a South African Christian girl who in 1906 was said to be possessed by a demon. She is said to have been possessed when she was a schoolgirl at St. Michael's Mission. Clara was an orphan, and at the age of 16 she allegedly made a pact with Satan, and this is said to be the cause of her demonic possession. In an account written by a nun, Clara was said to be able to speak languages of which she had no previous knowledge. This fact was also witnessed by others who recorded that she understood Polish, German, French, Norwegian, and all other languages. The nun also reported that Clara demonstrated clairvoyance by revealing the most intimate secrets and transgressions of people with whom she had no contact. Also, Clara could not bear the presence of blessed objects and seemed powered with extraordinary strength and ferocity, often hurling nuns about the convent rooms and beating them up. According to some, Clara was said to have levitated 5 feet in the air, sometimes vertically and sometimes horizontally, and when sprinkled with holy water, she was reported to have come out of the state of her satanic possession. During the exorcism, Clara's first action was to knock the Holy Bible from the priest's hands and grab his stole in an attempt to choke him with it. At the end of the exorcism, it was said that the demon was forced out and she was healed. Number 9. Ronald Doe. In the late 1940s in the United States, priests of the Roman Catholic Church performed a series of exorcisms on an anonymous boy, documented under the name Ronald Doe. The boy was the alleged victim of demonic possession, and the events were recorded by the attending priest. It said after a family death, the family experienced strange noises, furniture moving on its own accord, and ordinary objects such as vases flying or levitating when the boy was nearby. The family then turned to their pastor for help. During the exorcism, the boy allegedly slipped one of his hands out of the restraints, broke a bed spring from under the mattress, and used it as an impromptu weapon, slashing the priest's arm and resulting in the exorcism ritual being halted. When they did another exorcism, it was stated during the scene that words such as evil and hell, along with other various marks, appeared on the teenager's body. Allegedly, during the litany of the saints portion of the exorcism ritual, the boy's mattress began to shake. Number 8. Barbe Hallay. Barbe Hallay was a young servant in Quebec in the 1660s who was possessed by a demon. Priests and nuns performed rituals to drive the demons away, with the bishop and governor argued about how to investigate their suspicions of witchcraft. A local miller named Daniel Voley, accused of using his knowledge of the dark arts to torment Barbe, was imprisoned and then executed. Barbe continued to experience the symptoms of demonic possession for months even after the alleged witch was executed. The end of Barbe's ordeal came in the form as an exorcism, or what sounds very much like one, conducted by a layperson using a rib bone believed to belong to the deceased John de Berbeuf. And fun fact, this was Canada's first documented demon possession case. Number 7. Father Gabriele. In 1997, Father Gabriele Amorth conducted his exorcisms in Rome and was dealing with one troubled man. He asked for the help of Jesus, and the young man he was dealing with began to curse and spit and started using English instead of his native Italian. Screaming and howling, the demon burst forth and looked straight at him, drooling saliva from the young man's mouth. Father Gabriele said he returned fire with prayers and other ritual recitations, demanding that the demon reveal its name. He said, "Unclean spirit, whoever you are and all your companions who possess the servant of God, I command you, tell me your name, the day and the hour of your damnation." The man, fixed with a glare, snarled and said, "I am Lucifer." Father Gabriele was shocked. He did not expect to receive such a terrifying response. Now the father mostly used prayer as his weapon, and as Father Gabriele continually commanded the demon to leave its host, it eventually left. Number 6. David Glatzel. In 1981, a young boy named David Glatzel had played host to a demon. After witnessing a number of increasingly ominous occurrences involving David, his family, exhausted and terrified, decided to enlist the aid of Ed and Lorraine Warren in a last-ditch effort to cure him. David's family had seen him being beaten and choked by invisible hands, and that red marks had appeared on his neck afterward. David also started to growl, hiss, speak in otherworldly voices, and recite passages passages from the Bible as well. The Glatzel family, along with the Warrens, then proceeded to have a formal exorcism performed on David. They did many exorcisms on David, and Lorraine said that David levitated, ceased breathing for a time, and even demonstrated the supernatural ability of precognition. During his exorcisms, there was also a rocking chair in the room that would allegedly rock on its own, levitate, and even vanish and reappear. David and Lorraine also have claimed to see the devil sitting in it. Number 5. Arne Johnson. And that leads us to our next point of Arne Johnson. During one of David's exorcisms, Arne coerced one of the demons to possess him while participating. Afterwards, Arne's personality completely changed. He would fall into a trance-like state where he would growl and hallucinate, but later have no memory of it. Then one day after he and his girlfriend Debbie's landlord was drunk and misbehaving, Arne ended his life. The day after the incident, Lorraine Warren informed the Brooklyn police that Arne was possessed when the crime was committed. The case then went on to trial where Arne's defense was demonic possession and the devil made me do it. The jury deliberated for 15 hours over 3 days before convicting Arne of first-degree manslaughter. Though he was sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison, though he only served 5. Number 4. Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor became notable in England in 1974 as a result of the Ossett and his alleged demonic possession. Michael lived in Ossett, West Yorkshire, working as a butcher. In 1974, his wife, Christine, stated to a Christian fellowship group to which Michael belonged that his relationship with the lay leader of the group, Marie Robinson, was carnal in nature. Michael admitted that he felt an evil within him, and during the next meeting, Michael received an absolution, but nevertheless, his behavior continued to become more erratic. As a result, the local vicar called in other ministers experienced in the deliverance in preparation to cast out the demons residing within the man. The exorcism, which occurred on the 5th and 6th of October 1974 at St. Thomas's Church in Galber, was headed by Father Peter Vincent and was aided by Methodist clergyman the Reverend Raymond Smith. The exorcists believed that they had, in an all-night ceremony, invoked and cast out at least 40 demons. At the end, exhausted, they allowed Michael to go home, although they felt at least 3 demons were still left with him. Number 3. Julia. Dr. Richard Gallagher had a girl named Julia come to his house and tell him that she was possessed. Julia exhibited a series of behaviors that constituted a once-in-a-century possession, from speaking in languages she claimed not to have known to allegedly levitating for over half an hour during an exorcism. "I know I'm possessed," Julia told Richard during a consultation. "I space out and then I don't recall what happens. They tell me a voice comes out of me. I don't know. I don't remember anything. It's a demon, I'm sure." Objects would fly off shelves around her. She somehow knew personal details about Richard's life, like how his mother had died of ovarian cancer, and the fact that the 2 cats in his house went absolutely berserk fighting each other the night before one of her sessions. Julia even found a way to reach him even when she wasn't with him, he says. He was talking on the phone with Julia's priest one night when both of the men heard one of the demonic voices that came from Julia during her trances, even though she was nowhere near a phone and thousands of miles away. Number 2. Anneliese Michel. Anneliese Michel was a German woman who underwent 67 Catholic exorcism rites during the year before her death. When she was younger, she experienced a seizure and was diagnosed with psychosis caused by temporal lobe epilepsy. Shortly thereafter, she was diagnosed with depression and was treated by a psychiatric hospital. By the time she was 20, she had become intolerant to various religious objects and began to hear voices. After the taking of psychiatric medications for 5 years failed to improve her symptoms, Anneliese and her family became convinced that she was possessed by a demon. As a result, her family appealed to the Catholic Church for an exorcism. While rejected at first, 2 priests got permission from the local bishop in 1975. The priest began conducting exorcism sessions and the parents stopped consulting doctors. She became increasingly scary, speaking about dying to atone for the wayward youth of the day and to the apostate priests of the modern church. A total of 67 exorcism sessions, 1 or 2 each week, lasting up to 4 hours each, were performed over approximately 10 months in 1975 and 1976. And coming in at number 1 is Anna Ecklund. Anna Ecklund's demonic possession and exorcism occurred over several decades, culminating in an extensive exorcism that lasted from August 18th to December 23rd, 1928 in Erling, Iowa. Anna was said to have exhibited symptoms similar to possession beginning as a young girl and was 46 years old during her final exorcism by Father Theophilus Riesinger, a Roman Catholic Catholic priest. She would levitate, howl, and hang from the frame of a doorway. The extensive exorcism resulted in deterioration of her body as she refused to consume food, also vomiting foul debris and what appeared to be tobacco leaves. Her head, lips, and face reportedly swelled, and she was also able to speak in multiple languages unknown to her. Anna was believed to be possessed by Judas Iscariot as well as Jacob, her own father, who had cursed her with the help of his lover, and her aunt Mina. On December 23rd, the final day of the exorcism, Father Rasinger commanded the demons in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, through the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, to depart to hell. Anna collapsed on her bed and began to shriek, Beelzebub, Judas, Jacob, Mina, followed by hell, hell, hell. She opened her eyes and then spoke in her own voice, saying, My Jesus, mercy, praise be Jesus Christ. The exorcism was successful, and Anna's case is considered by theology and paranormal scholars to be one of the most abundantly documented cases of possession in the 20th century, including a profile in the 1936 issue of Time magazine. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 scary possession cases the Catholic Church refuses to talk about. Which one on our list scared you the most? Let us know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe while you're down there. I'm your host Emily, and we'll see you next time. Peace.